Hello and welcome to another episode of Couch Therapy. So this is the show where I talk about some sort of cultural issue or I'm answering some random email that I've got in my inbox with some questions about living in Japan. And today the one that I'm going to talk about is dress code, specifically what to do. I got my phone here somewhere and my phone has on it the email, so I'll read that to you now. The question was, let's see. I'm sure there's not blah, 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 blah. I was actually curious about how many suits should I own for a normal school week. I have one suit that actually fits me well, and I was wondering how often I need to wash the suit, or if I should own like 3 or more different ones. I really don't know the standard for that kind of thing yet. Suits are also fairly expensive, so I'm thinking about how I should budget. Nate. All right, Nate. So it's a really good question, and it's these kind of things you don't, of course, come across until you're like in the process of moving in. Then you're like, oh, all these details come out. What exactly should I do? So I would say right away, for a number of reasons, I would say whether you're a guy or a girl, bringing over only one suit to begin with is all you need to do. First and foremost, I'll say that because the dress code that you're going to be sold by a large dispatch company actually is completely at odds, very likely, with what the actual dress code will be in the school. The dress codes in the school are A, individual school by school cases, and B, are mostly as a result of the rapport that you develop at the school to know what kind of thing is appropriate, because you'll see a wide range like from the get-go in the fact that if you're not used to a country that has 4 seasons, Japan is a country that has 4 seasons, and the sort of like dress that makes sense wildly varies depending on the season that it is that you're in. So you're going to see a whole lot of clothes that are ranging for that. For example, I didn't find out until I got here that they specifically have something called Cool Biz in summer because it gets so mercilessly hot here, mushiatsui, like humid, brutal, and they allow you to wear like short sleeve collared shirts and I believe no tie. It's like a total dress down. It's very, very chill. So what you want to do is spend about, I would say, 2 months getting the kind of lay of the land at your schools and figuring out, looking around you, what kind of things are the other teachers wearing. You'll be like, okay, how like formal or casual is this school? You're also going to see a large variety in the kind of school that you're at. So you probably put 2 and 2 together and you think, or you'd realize that at an elementary school where it's far younger children that you're dealing with, and usually a lot more consistently active, whether it be the activities that you're doing in the actual classroom itself, or at recess when they're out like throwing balls around, doing all this stuff, jumping rope. They're a lot more active, and so you see people in tracksuits. It's far more common in that kind of situation. I had a buddy who was at a school at 5 elementary schools, 5, count them, da-da-da. And when he was at those schools, he was always going into work in a tracksuit once he developed this rapport. Of course, when you show up kind of almost like ritualistically, you gotta go in and you gotta be more formal to begin with before people know you that well. But once he had, that's the sort of thing that he was going in with. And to speak to my own experience with this, and I worked like, I believe it was Nate. Yeah, Nate's asking specifically about Interact, and that's the company that I had previously worked for. I went in and it was like I was told by Interact, suit and tie all the time. And I was looking around and I was like, I don't see the other teachers doing suit and tie all the time. I wonder if they like me and I've developed a good enough relationship, if I can amend this in some way. And so after a couple of months, I went in and I did, you can go to Uniqlo. It's like great value, good prices, not that expensive, like kind of price performance clothing in Japan, if you want to call it that. And I got these long sleeve, in fall, I got these long sleeve sweaters, light sweaters that you could put like an undershirt underneath if you needed to get a little bit warmer, but they were dynamic in that they were light, so when it became spring. Anyways, I got those and I tried it out one day because I was like, oh, this looks all right. And so the first thing that I did is I wore a collared shirt that I then put it over top of with the tie. So it was just testing out the sweater. And then after that, I tried doing without the tie. Nobody said anything. You can see a pattern forming here. You can kind of incrementally discover what it is that they allow, barring that you go into utter slovenliness. So avoid doing that. But you can feel it out, and 9 times out of 10, with a little bit of patience, with a little bit of getting the lay of the land, you can dress. I would say that's another aspect, one of the unspoken benefits of coming over and teaching here, is that the dress code ends up being pretty damn lax, and you can form it into whatever it is that you want, given a certain standard. Because I was never in elementary school, I was never going in track pants or anything like that, so I've always kind of worn like the gray slacks thing or whatever, but I'm totally fine with that. It's like I got 2 pair of slacks, so I like clean them and alternate through the week. It doesn't cost me anything at all to do it. And then there's the sort of person who might insist on going in every single day of the week. They're like, I have to wear a suit every day. Oh, thank God. And that's what they want to do because they enjoy dressing up. Actually, I'll put that in one of the cards here. Are you a suit everyday person, or are you more casual? What sort of clothing would you prefer if you had the option? And in Japan, you actually get it, so you can decide. So go vote up there in the corner. I'm curious, what's the community's thoughts on this kind of thing? So that's it boiled down into its essential elements right there, is that don't believe, you understand why a large dispatch company like Interact or Eon, or anyways, a long list of dispatch companies is going to tell you to dress like this, because they have to cover their ass. This is a consistent theme I have running through my videos when I talk about them, is that they're doing it to have a standard. When they employ so many people, yes, there are a couple of monkeys in suits that end up getting hired and they do something just absolutely ridiculous, and that ends up impacting the company, that rather than do it case by case with so many people, they put this sort of like draconian standard of like suits every single day. A draconian first world standard, that's not so bad, right? But then, as opposed to, like I say, kind of feeling it out on an individual basis, they're like, no, just wear a suit. And I would probably say the same thing too if I were running a very large company, because you are going to lose that sort of personal connection with your employees when you literally have thousands of them, and you're hiring as they do. So ignore that. Ignore whatever that like sort of standard thing that these dispatch companies tell you. Figure it out for yourself. Be aware that there are 4 seasons in Japan. That might not be the same for you for where you're from. And yeah, that's it. Just build up that rapport, kind of go in increments like I'm suggesting, and definitely to answer sort of maybe the primary question that was mentioned with this, which was how many suits? One suit, whether it be a Hillary pantsuit or a man, 3-piece suit or whatever it is that you're going to wear. But you only need one, and you can save yourself a whole lot of money with that. So those are my thoughts on how to dress right in Japan, how to kind of adapt the dress code if you're in this teaching environment to something that fits you. Buns. So there we are. You can get a hold of me if you have any other questions. Perhaps you'd like it featured in one of these videos that I'm doing once a week now as a part of this ongoing series, Couch Therapy. Get a hold of me through Twitter or Instagram. I've likely linked that down below in the course of this video. And I'm more than happy to respond. Be shocked and amazed by the fact that I respond to like 99.9% of any sort of comment or whatever from somebody who has gotten a hold of me that way, and I'll feature your questions. If I don't directly answer them at the time when you get a hold of me, write me an email. It doesn't matter how exactly it is that you want to do it. I welcome all the community interaction. I love it. I wouldn't have a channel otherwise. I'm going to put my ebook up there. If you're into sort of a psychological drama horror, Stoneheart is available on Amazon now, on every single Amazon. And the feedback that I've gotten has been really positive, which makes my heart soar like an eagle. So that's awesome. This weekend I've got went for 11th floor sukiyaki in Ginza, downtown Tokyo. So that's going to be a real beautiful food video coming out. And the following week will be another heavily edited sort of like adventure video where I went out for this random journey and kind of like picked a spot on a map and went somewhere random, which is a lot of fun. I'm going to work on that tonight, actually. All right, thanks so much for tuning into this video. I really appreciate it. I'll definitely catch you guys in the next one. Look forward to getting your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. And that's all for now. So, peace.